and misses. It's taken off, and the foul is called on Ron Anthony. Ron Anthony committing his fourth personal foul of the ball game for him. Butch has already fouled out, and we go back to the other end of the court with a minute 41. Ron has 4. So, actually what happened then, Ron fell over the man after he had gone up for his shot. The man who was guarding him fell, and Ron fell over him. Okay, here comes the big guy back in, Bird. Now they want to get some size in there under, because they feel that he can battle. Has only Ron Anthony and Henson, whereas a moment ago he had the Henson and Butch. There's the free throw, made good. It's 65-62 with a minute 41 on the clock. And what a tremendous ball game this has been. I'll tell you, you've got to give Pensacola a lot of credit. They really have come back. And the all-court press they have is really something to watch. Giving off to Ron. Ron ahead. And the foul is called. Wait a minute. Oh, they say Ron stepped out of bounds with the ball. Ron steps out of bounds. A man going along with him, shoulder to shoulder. And so time has been called by the Pensacola Tigers with a minute 37 on the clock. You're listening to WJNJ Beach Radio, WJNJ FM in Atlantic Beach, Florida. The score is 65-63 with a minute 37 remaining.
Now's the time to be planting and fertilizing, and whatever you need for what needs doing, you'll find at Proctor Ace.
Set to resume play with a minute 37 on the clock. The ball is given out of bounds to the Pensacola Tigers, and they're setting it up. In is Randolph. Randolph guarded very closely by Harris. He gives to Dixon. Dixon back out to Randolph. Randolph doesn't shoot. Gives to Dixon. A minute 27. Ball stolen away by Ron Anthony. And Sam Brown is knocked down, and ball taken away from him. And wait a minute, the whistle, and they call it on Sam. Hallelujah. No, wait a minute. That's right. No, that's the fourth one on Sam. 65-63. And we have a minute 19 on the clock. Sam had been knocked to the floor and was trying to regain position of the basketball. The guy who knocked him down also was going for it. And now goes out of bounds to Fletcher. A violation along the lane before the guy ever took the shot. Okay, Fletcher has the ball there, leading by 2 points, a minute 19 on the clock. Into Sam Brown in the backcourt. And the ball taken right away from Brown that time to Dixon. Dixon has it stolen away by Harris. And look at him, he's wrestling with it. And they do call a foul. Congratulations. He was actually wrestling with him. Had his arms around Harris. And the man at the other end of the floor finally decided he'd better choose the whistle. 65-63, and there has been nothing but a lot of walking back and forth to the free throw line, mostly in the direction of Pensacola for the last 2.5 minutes of this ball game, John.
Yeah, last night we had a clip, and tonight we've had defensive holding.
Yeah. With a minute and 11 seconds on the clock. And Fletcher is on top by 2 points. Here is James Harris at the line. He has 5 points tonight for his work. And a 1-and-1 situation. James Harris. He puts the ball up there. It is good. He'll get a bonus. And Fletcher is now leading by 3 points. 66-63. Here is Harris again. It is up, and it's good. And it's a 4-point lead again for Fletcher. Ball passed in to Randolph. Randolph driving hard. Harris cuts him off. And then he passes ahead to Stallworth. Stallworth to Randolph. Randolph outside now to Stallworth. Top of the circle along. Dixon. Dixon double teamed there. Passes back outside to Randolph. He has the ball over his head, but he goes back and gets it. Gives it to Long. Left side to Dixon. Shot is no good. And a battle for the rebound taken by Randolph, who scores. And we have 44 seconds on the clock. Fletcher leading by 2 points. Looking for a man. Gets the ball in to Henson. Henson holding the ball. He gets it to Brown. Sam Brown taking it into the front court. He stops. Holds the ball high over his head. Now, he saves the taken right into the head. Oh, wait a minute. A foul. Have they called a foul? The ball did go out of bounds. And time has been called by the Pensacola Tigers. I thought for a moment he'd called a foul. And with the score 67-65, Fletcher, we have 26 seconds on the clock and timeout for this word. Official down there, and he's waiting for the other official to come away from the scorer's table. And then we will have the ball out of bounds with the Pensacola Tigers an opportunity to tie up the ball game with 26 seconds on the clock. And the ball is passed in. Now to Randolph. Randolph picked up there by Harris. He drives, goes up with a shot. It is no good. A foul is called on James Harris, who went up trying to block the shot. So with 20 seconds on the clock, and the fourth foul called against Jim Harris, 20 seconds remaining on the clock, and Randolph will be at the line shooting two. Oh, boy, what a barn burner this is. Number 35, Randolph at the line. He takes the shot, and it is good. It's 67-66. And he has an opportunity to tie up the ball game with only 20 seconds on the clock. The officials are having a little conference. Now they shake their heads up and down, yes. But I don't think many of the people agree with it. Most of the people shake their heads no. Here's Randolph at the line. And his second free throw is up there, and it's also good. It's tied up. Ball passed in to Sam Brown. Brown looking for help. Gets it to Ron. Ron down to off the fingertips of Robinson with 14 seconds on the clock. Robinson loses the ball out of bounds. It goes out to the Pensacola Tigers, and the Tigers now call timeout. With the score all tied up, 67-67. What a thrilling ball game, let me tell you. You've got to give the Tigers a lot of credit. They were about 13 to 15 points back, but they came back strong, and it's all tied up with 14 seconds on the clock. Here's Jack.
The Florida High School Activities Association annually sponsors the tournament series to determine a state champion in football, basketball, baseball, track, decathlon, swimming, golf, and tennis. The 50th consecutive state high school basketball tournament will be held at the Jacksonville Coliseum next Friday and Saturday, March 10th and 11th. We hope you'll be in attendance. Duval High School of Jacksonville won the first state tournament in 1922 by defeating Winter Haven in the finals 33-17. Twin Lakes High School of West Palm Beach, Pensacola Catholic High School, Havana High School, and Greensboro High School won the 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A state titles in 1971. 426 high schools and principals organized as Florida High School Activities Association work constantly to ensure that high school activities are a vital, valuable part of the total school program.
Okay, we're set to go now. Tommy Long gets the ball into Randolph. Randolph takes it into the front court. 11 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Randolph goes to the end of the circle, gives out to Long. 5 seconds. Over to Dixon. He goes up for the shot. It's good. 2 seconds, 1 second. The game is over. And Fletcher loses the ball game 69-67. What a heartbreaking, terrible loss for the Fighting Fletcher Senators. And I'll guarantee you, folks, this Pensacola team would not give up. They decided to go into their all-court press early in the ball game with almost all of the entire fourth quarter. Fletcher took 6 shots in the entire fourth quarter is all they got. And they just cannot believe it. But again, we must point out that they just let everything go. As far as we're concerned, there was an awful lot of it that at times when there should have been some fouls called. But you can't take anything away from this tremendous Pensacola team. They battled back, and they got Fletcher into foul trouble. Butch Anthony fouled out. Ron had picked up his 4th. Brown had picked up 4, and James Harris also had picked up 4 fouls. And then
called on the other team for minute after minute.
That's right. They went a long time without any fouls being called at all against. And of course, we've seen this occur before in a lot of ball games. When a team is behind by a number of points, the officials will lean over a little bit to help them to sort of get back into the ball game. I've always felt that because I think it's a psychological thing. But then when you see that it's just getting a little bit out of hand with all that aggressiveness, and it sort of makes you sick to stand and watch it. Anyway, you cannot take it. As the points began to melt away, however, Fletcher began to get a case of nerves. Sadly, they could not hold on to the ball for love nor money. They had it won if they had taken time out and then brought the ball in with 14 seconds. Previously it was 26. But what did they do? They stringed it in and lost the ball immediately, and they went down. And that's a big part of the reason. That's very true. Of course, when Butch Anthony fouls out of the ball game, they lose a tremendous ball player and a guy who can settle the team down. But Butch was not in there to settle his team down, and it seemed that they were just running helter-skelter. the one ball that was passed out of bounds, and that was a heartbreaker, too. It gave it to the other team out of bounds with, I believe, 26 seconds on the clock. I don't know really why they didn't call time immediately when they did get the ball, Fletcher, at that particular moment. But that's the way the ball game goes, and you've got to give the Pensacola Tigers a tremendous amount of credit because it looked like Fletcher was going to blow them right off the court. And I think everybody thought, well, this is going to be an easy victory. But they just not would give up. They battled back and continued time after time to steal the ball. And it was not Golay who did the job for him tonight. It was Randolph and Stallworth and a man named Dixon. Randolph and Stallworth and Dixon were just absolutely fantastic in this ball game tonight. Well, of course, we don't want to talk down the Fighting Fletcher Senators. We think they're a great ball club. Butch Anthony, fantastic. Ron had 19 points tonight. Sam Brown had 13. He was hitting very well. Jesse Henson, the time he played, scored 12 points. And all in all, it was a real fine performance for everybody. Robbie was held for only 4 points tonight. But Jack will be back in just a moment with all of the official statistics for you. Well, its final score again is the Pensacola Tigers 69. They did it with 2 seconds on the clock when Dixon drove in to score, and Fletcher could not put the ball back into play. We'll be back with the final statistics in just a moment.
I have just 60 seconds to talk about OSS, so I'll have to just hit a few high spots. Oh, I don't mean General Donovan's cloak and dagger.